So today I want to talk to us about the things happening in our lives. The things that we call accidents. A lot of things happen to us as human beings, and we always regard those things as accidents. When someone passes away, suddenly people say it's by accident, that we are not aware of it, or that they are aware of it, but there is nothing they can do about it. But there is something I always say. I don't really believe that anything happening to anybody by sudden is an accident. I don't really believe that, because I know that this God we serve, except you don't worship this God that I worship, the God that created the heaven and earth, except you don't believe in him, you don't want to believe in him, you don't believe in his powers, except you don't believe in him, this God will never allow anything to happen to you unexpectedly without notifying you. It's not possible. It is not possible. He is a merciful God. He is a merciful God. And so, anything that is about to happen to his people, he must show you. He must notify you. This time around, it has nothing to do with one who possesses a spiritual gift. No, that is the grace he gives to everybody, to each and every one of us, whether you are his child or not, because I believe everybody is his child. It depends on your personal relationship with him. But for anything to happen in your life, more especially all these bad things that we call accidents, they don't just happen. He will always notify us. He will always give us signs. He will always talk to those that he has chosen to talk to his people. But the problem is us. We are that problem. Most of the times we don't believe. Sometimes we believe, but we wave them off. Sometimes we believe, but then we overlook everything. And at the end of the day, it's either you blame the devil or you blame it on something else. But the whole blame is on you. There is nothing that happens, be it car accident. Anybody who has survived a car accident, if you know the person, I will want you to go and ask the person questions. They will tell you that before they left the house that day, that they had, weird feelings, that they felt somehow, they felt like not going out. But the problem is we don't listen to our inner being. We don't listen to that spirit in us. Each and every one of us has this spirit in us. And that spirit in us is the spirit that God has assigned to watch over us. They are our guardian angels. You do not need to see them. But before anything happens, they will notify you. If you are spiritually gifted to hear them, you will hear them talk. If you are not spiritually gifted to hear them, they will give you signs. And they will keep on repeating that sign just for you to at least adhere and listen to your body. But we don't. The people who pass away through motor accident, sometimes I've heard a lot of stories that they will wake up in the morning and they will feel so down that they really don't want to go out for that day. But because maybe you have an appointment and to you that appointment is so important that you must keep to it, they decided to go out, overlooking the signs that their body is giving to them. A lot of us will receive messages from people who are spiritually gifted. Please, on a particular day like this, or I saw you going out and this thing happened to you, please don't go out for today, or don't go out throughout this week. But instead of us to stay back at home, at least ponder those things at heart, pray over them. No, we don't. The next thing we do is we return it back to sender immediately. We return it back to that person that gave us the message. It is not me that is going to die. It is you that is going to die. Without asking the person, how did you get the message? That is the first question you are expected to ask. How did you get the message? Who told you? Not returning it back to the person immediately. From the person's utterances or explanations, will tell you if the person actually meant well for you. Because if the person is actually sent by God, he or she will tell you how she got the message or how he got the message. You staying back for like a day or for 30 minutes or for 1 hour will not prevent anything. Sometimes you can even go out, you won't have that accident, but you will not be able to accomplish that thing that you have gone out for. And your body has been giving you that signs. So many of us will wake up feeling dizzy. You don't want to go out, but you had no choice. So you must go out. Instead of listening to your body. And then when they go out, it could be that their blood pressure has risen up, because most of the times all these things are not being manipulated. Yes, sometimes they are not being manipulated by anybody. Sometimes it could be an arrangement in the spiritual realm that has nothing to do with any human being. Yes, sometimes it is being arranged spiritually. And then when you listen to your body, the negative spirits will not win that battle. But when you do not listen to your body, you do not listen to your inner being, that is when the negative spirits will win the battle. And when such things happen, we start blaming God immediately. I know how this person prays. This person goes to church. This person worships God with all his heart, with all her heart, and yet God allows such a thing to happen. God gave you a sign. You chose to overlook that sign. God warned you. You chose to overlook the warnings. You didn't take the warnings to heart. You chose to be disobedient because you believe you have a very powerful God, and because you have prayed that morning, and to you, you believe that your prayers can carry you. Meanwhile, God has already showed you what is actually waiting for you. The best thing for you to do is just to stay back. That's all. Just stay back. Like I said earlier, sometimes it is not being manipulated. Because whenever anything happens, yes, I know when we look at it, the physical side, we look at it, the spiritual side. But most of the times, it has nothing to do with any human being conjuring any evil against you. Most of the times, the spirits will come together and there will be a discussion over your head. A discussion over your head, both the negative spirits and the positive spirits. And an agreement can be reached concerning you. Now, God, being the merciful God that he is, will always tell you ahead of time. This is what is about to happen. Can send somebody through so many means to notify you. How have you taken those signs? How have you taken those warnings? That's our major problem. Because we are always quick to blame God. Because we believe that God is just like a fellow human being. That is our problem. We are always quick to blame him. Because he's the all-powerful God. Therefore, even when you are going astray and you know that you are going astray, you expect him to draw you back without you trying your own possible means to see how you can go back. When you put in your effort to turn back, that is when he will draw you back. But when you want to prove a point and you keep moving forward, he will overlook you. So that he will, he will watch to see how you can change the situation. Nothing happens by accident. Nothing. Majority of us this morning, I believe, when you woke up this morning, you felt somehow. I'm not saying that every feeling we have every morning is of a negative side. No. But like I said, all of them are not being manipulated. Even if every feeling you have is negative, they are not being manipulated. Most of them. So many of us are having blood pressure, high blood pressure. It is common. It's like almost everybody is passing through that because of the situation of things in the world. Majority of us are having this high blood pressure. But our problem is we are more Christian than Christ himself. We are more prayerful than God himself. Somebody who is having a high blood pressure will wake up in the morning, you will feel dizzy. You will even want to fall. Instead of you to check your blood pressure or take your medicine, lie down and sleep. When you lie down and sleep, that blood pressure will go back to normal. That is how it works. But no, they will not. They will pray. And after the prayer, they will tell you that the Lord has taken control. And when the person leaves the house, the next thing you will hear is that this person slumped. This person collapsed. Before he or she could be rushed to the hospital, he passed away. And people will tell you that the enemy is at work. How? That person is actually the enemy to himself or herself. So who are you pointing accusing fingers at? And people will tell you that it is by accident. It is not any accident. The body actually told the person that he or she is not fit to go out immediately, but they chose to overlook it. So many of us will have dreams of how their day will be, of what is waiting for them outside. And when they wake up, they will just say a prayer. That is for those that will pray at all, because a lot of people do not believe in prayer. They will just say a prayer. And then some will leave as early as 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, without trying to sit down. Because whenever you dream and you see something scary in your dream, it is advisable that when you wake up, you say your prayers immediately. Then you think about that dream. Think. Remember everything that you have seen in your dream. When you think about the dream, you will try and trace it. There is always somehow that dream will match with your normal lifestyle. Yes. So many of us will dream and we will see our bestie, so-called bestie for those who believe in besties. You dream and you see your bestie pursuing you, wanting to take you down, wanting to harm you. When they wake up, the next thing they will say is, I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. Amen. Without thinking of your relationship, sit down and think of your relationship with your bestie. When you sit down and think deeply, you will come across somehow, if it's possible, for your bestie to harm you. But we don't do that. And sometimes, some of us, the moment you go out and see that your bestie, you narrate your dream to your bestie. Your bestie will already know that you are aware of what he or she is planning, if he or she is actually the one. And then they will devise another means. Before anything happens to you, God will show you. But the problem is, how do you take it? How do you take it? It's actually been more than a month or close to 2 months that I haven't come up live. Yes, which I told you guys that it's not by my own making at all. The situation of things around me is tougher than it was before. When I mean situation, I mean the battles that I am facing now is tougher. It's more tougher than how it was before. And on a daily basis, when I mean on a daily basis, I mean every day. Every day, God will show me what will happen. What will happen, the time it will happen, how it's going to happen. At times, I get scared. I will have to be honest with us. Yes. Sometimes I will get scared. I will not want to go out for that day. But what I do, whenever I get scared like that much, I will call someone higher than me. And I will tell the person, can you look into the spiritual concerning this and tell me? If the road is clear for me, I will leave. If the road is not clear for me, I don't owe anybody any explanation as to how I live my life. I will stay back because I want to be alive to testify of the goodness of God in my life. So this is how my life has been going on a daily basis, like I told us, like every day. As a civil servant that goes to work, I am already dressed for work. For each day that I will leave my house, for more than a month now, before I leave, God will tell me, this is what is going to happen in your office. This is how you will react towards it. If it's something that he wants me to be involved, he's going to tell me what to say and how to say it. If he doesn't want me to be involved, He will tell me to keep short. And when I come to work, everything will just happen exactly the way he has shown me. And majority of these things are not just something happening, like in someone's office. No, these are the things that the enemy has already arranged that will happen to me. But God in his infinite mercy will always tell me, when you get to office, you are going to see this. You are going to meet this. When you see this, don't do this. When you meet this, don't react this way. React the other way. There are times when I will wake up. The only thing I can do is just to cry. Yes, at times I will tell him that, God, I think I'm tired. I'm done. If you can take away this gift from me so that I will live a normal life. But then after saying that, I will say to myself, if he takes away the gift from me, I won't be able to know my left from my right. I won't be able to know who is against me and who is for me. So all I do is sometimes like I will just cry because the burden is like it's now so heavy on me. This is one of the reasons why I haven't come up live for a very long time, because it requires my time. It requires my spirit. It requires my prayer life. This is the time that I have to be more serious than before. Other months I've been kind of, let me call myself that I've been on holiday. All the while that I've been coming up live anyhow, and every now and then I've been on holiday or I've been on break from spirituality. But this time around, no. It's just like when you are fighting a battle. When the battle is coming to an end, it gets tougher. And if care is not taken, you will be defeated. So that is how it is for me now. And that's why I say that nothing happens by accident. The problem is, how do you take that? Everything that happens to us, somebody must see it. If you don't see it, somebody will see it. If you cannot hear, somebody will hear. When God tells you something and you don't hear, he's going to give you signs. He's going to show you everything. And when you still don't want to believe the signs that you have seen, he's going to send somebody. And how merciful he is that the person will get to you on time to tell you that message. So how do you handle the message? How do you handle it? A lot of people have passed away ignorantly. Ignorantly. Why? Because we have chosen to discard everything about spirituality. Because we do not want God anymore in our lives. We don't want God. We don't want his rules and regulations. In fact, they are so much. We don't want it anymore. God's rules and regulations are, a lot of people will tell you that Christianity is the problem. Religion is the problem. They don't want any rules anymore. Nobody wants to be governed by anymore. We all want to govern ourselves. And that is our problem. We have shifted God by the side. If you don't believe in God, no problem. But you must believe in something. In which God do you believe in? You don't believe in this God that created the heaven and earth. Some people call him the white man's God. You don't believe in him. You believe in the gods your ancestors worshipped. No problem. But remember that when your ancestors were worshipping those gods, they were living righteous life. They kept their hands clean and straight. When they say yes, their yes is their yes. When they say no, their no is their no. Why? Because those gods do not give time. They don't take chances. They are not merciful. For any mistake you make, they will strike you. And so our ancestors were so careful not to incur their wrath. If you want to go back to those gods, fine. But make sure you go back fully. When I mean fully. Go deep down into the tradition. Ask questions about how people worship those gods. And you start worshiping them. You cannot be here and be here at the same time. You don't want God. You don't want his rules and regulations. Whatever signs he shows you, you will criticize those signs. And people will tell you that it is only bad things that God shows. It is only bad things that God reveals to his people. And you believe that God is not merciful. It is someone who loves you so much that will tell you the dangers ahead of you. Your enemy will never, ever show you that ditch. Your enemy will just step aside for you to fall into the ditch. But someone who loves you will tell you ahead of time, don't go towards this place. There is a ditch there. If you go there, you are going to fall inside there. But we always criticize every message that comes from God, because the only thing we want to hear in our life is, it shall be well with you. You will hear that message when you are on the right track. It shall be well with you. You will hear it when you are on the right track, not actually when you are going astray. We are all human beings. At every point in time in our life, we always go astray. We always question God. Sometimes we want to push him away. Sometimes we want to stay on our own. But then, if you still have that fear of God in you, you will still turn back to him. He remains the ultimate, whether we like it or not. Even the gods that our ancestors worshipped, even these people, the native doctors, the marine people or whatsoever, when you hear them talking, or when you hear them praying, or when you hear them performing whatever they are performing, they will first of all give honor to whom honor is due. And that honor is the God of creation. They will call on him. They will thank him. They will praise him, because he remains the ultimate. So I don't know the reason why we human beings of our present generation has decided to look down on this God. We don't believe in his powers. To us, God cannot do anything. Yes, to us, he cannot do anything. We always make this statement, because he is a merciful God. He will not strike you. I want to be honest with you. He will not strike you. But when you have gone so far, he will allow that thing in front to strike you. You are being protected because we are under his mercy. That's why we do a lot of things and we get away with it. We commit all sorts of atrocities and we get away with it. And we believe it's because we are capable. It's because we have realized whom we are. It's because we are now gods. Like people always say, we are now gods. We have the power to do whatever we like. But when the worst strikes, everybody will turn to that God. When sickness comes, you will see that person who doesn't believe in God calling you, requesting for prayer. And I always ask this question: to which God do you want me to pray to? You don't believe in the same God with me. But when you are sick and about to die, you request for prayer. To which God do you want me to pray to? Because I cannot pray to that your God. I will not. And I know that you do not believe in my own God. So to which God do you want me to pray to? When death comes, people will start calling on God to perform the great miracle, to raise the dead, forgetting that you do not believe in him, that you believe in something else, in another power. Is it not better for you to call that power that you believe in to raise the dead? Before anything happens, whether you believe it or not, God will surely reveal to you. He will give you the signs. He will talk to you. He will show you everything that you need to know. He will do it directly or he will do it indirectly. But this present generation, from what I am seeing, is wiser than God, is greater than God, more intelligent than God, more spiritual than God. That is our problem. If you are watching me this morning and you woke up this morning and you know that you have already seen the day, but your body is telling you a different thing, you are not sure of. You have prayed and your body is still telling you the same thing, because sometimes after our prayers, our body, our feelings will still insist on that thing. Whenever I'm talking about all these things, it doesn't necessarily mean motor accident. No, it doesn't necessarily mean motor accident. But however your day will be, majority of the time when you wake up in the morning, the nature will tell you, your body will tell you if that day will be successful, if you are going to see the end of that day, if you are going to see tomorrow. We always have these feelings. The spirit in us will always tell us. But we have chosen to neglect these spirits. We have chosen to neglect them. God actually stationed these spirits to stay with us, to guide us, to watch over us, to control us, to tell us what to do and what not to do. But because we are a little lower than these spirits, we always challenge these spirits. And these spirits cannot go out of their own way to do anything without our own approval, because that's how God has made it. They will do something for us when we approve of that thing. If you do not approve of it, that spirit will not act. That spirit will not do anything for you. The spirit is there to guide you, to show you the path. Please take the right path, not the left path. When you insist and keep on moving towards the left path, this spirit will not drag you to the right. The spirit will continue to go with you towards that left path. Even though the spirit knows that you are not going to achieve anything there, it will go with you until you get to the point where you lose. And the spirit will still tell you to turn back and take the right path. That is their job, to guide us. When you are in danger, what they want you to do is to open up. Open up. Say something. Command. The moment you open up and say something, that is when they act. That is why a lot of patients in the hospital, whenever I go for hospital visitations, it is always good to visit those in the hospital, because most of the times, both the patients and those who take care of them in the hospital do not have the time to pray. No. And some hospitals do not allow prayers. And some doctors and nurses don't believe in prayers. They believe in that medicine, which is good too. But sometimes, spoken words matters. When you pray with these patients and you ask them to decree a word, in that they are vulnerable state, the moment they say something, that is what the spirit in them wants to hear. The spirit will not carry out that thing. And that is why it looks as if some of us, when you pray for the sick gets healed. Yes, some of us who are gifted that way, they will get healed. Most of the times, it is the voice of the sick that the spirit wants to hear. And that is why a lot of people who are sick, when the moment they say, I don't think I will survive tomorrow, before you know it, the next thing you will hear is that this person has passed away, because they have already confessed negatively. And the spirit decided to act on that. So nothing happens by accident. Anything that is about to happen in your life happens under God's supervision. He will give you the signs. He will show you the signs. He will send a lot of people to you. I'm not saying that every message that comes into your life that you should welcome the message. No, but what I'm saying is, when a message comes to you, whether you like it or not, it's not all about you bombarding the person that sent the message, the messenger, calling names on the messenger, criticizing the messenger. No. What you will do is, once the person is done with the message, thank that person, think about that message, ponder it in your heart, and then table that matter before God. You need to hear from God, yes. Not just calling the person back to send, I return it back to you. It is you and your family that will die, this, that. Sometimes when you do that, your spirit will step aside to see how you will handle the matter. And that is when a lot of people will fall. So I want us all to be observant spiritually, not just only physically, because ordinarily we are always observant physically. If anything wants to happen to us now, you will know, you will see that thing and you will know how to, protect yourself. But spiritually, let us try to listen to that spirit in us. Each and every, as long as you are alive, you are breathing, you have a spirit in you. Whether you are healthy or not, it doesn't matter. There is a spirit in you whose duty it is to watch over you, to guide you, to protect you, to show you the way, to tell you what to do and what not to do. But sometimes we fall victims out of our own disobedience. So please, I just got this little time and I decided to talk to us. Listen to your inner spirit. Listen to your inner spirit. Please, this one is not a matter of being a Christian, being a Muslim, being a pagan. Listen to your inner spirit. If you are still alive, you have a spirit in you. There is a spirit in you. How you make use of that spirit is what everybody outside will see. Your behavior outside is what everybody is seeing, and that is how you manage that spirit in you. If you have any question to ask me, just a little time, I have just a little time. If you have any question to ask me, please type your questions. And if there is no question, I will want you to permit me to live this life now. Francisca, good morning, and thank you for joining us. If you have any question to ask me, I have little time left. Little time left. If you have any question to ask me, you ask me. Please help me to double tap your screen to like this live, please. Double tap your screen to like this live. It will not take anything away from you. Just double tap your screen, okay? And help me to share the live. You can share it on your Facebook. You can share it on your WhatsApp. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much. You are actually spiritually alert. When you are connected, the spirit in you will let you know which is good or bad. Exactly. So please write down your questions. Write down your questions. I have little time left. I'm already on my way out. Francisca, you keep on seeing your church members fighting in your dreams. Are they fighting you? Or are they just fighting amongst themselves? Seeing your church members fighting, are they fighting you in your dream, or are they fighting amongst themselves? When your church members are fighting you in your dream, sometimes we make this mistake. When you narrate these dreams to somebody who is not gifted about dreams, the person will tell you that you don't belong to that church. It's false, please. If your church members are fighting you in your dreams, it has nothing to do with you being a member of the church. Don't allow anybody to tell you to leave your church. Please, stay where you are. God is everywhere. Stay where you are. If your church members are fighting you in your dream, it actually means that you are spiritually above them. Yes, you are spiritually above them. And it may not necessarily be your church members. There are a lot of, I will call everybody church member, but some of us are actually agents of darkness. And these agents of darkness, you will see majority of them inside the church. And when you are spiritually high above them, they have no other means but to fight you. And sometimes they won't do this physically. When they do it physically, of course you will fight back, but they will go spiritual. And that is when God will show you what is actually happening. So when they're fighting you spiritually, God will show you that through dreams to tell you that those people you see, majority of them you see in the church, thinking that they are all church members, are actually not church members. Most of them are agents of darkness. And they have a mission. That is why sometimes when you go to church, a lot of churches, if not all the churches, you will see something abnormal happening in the church, and everybody will conceal it. Everybody will shut their mouth. Nobody will want to talk. And when you decide to talk, people will criticize you. It is the work of the agents of darkness in the church. So Francisca, if they are fighting you, it actually means that you are spiritually above them. But if they are fighting amongst themselves, then it actually means that there is a spiritual problem in that church. If the church members are actually fighting amongst themselves, it means there is a spiritual problem amongst that's in the church. It means the presence of God is not actually there. And all these things will start from the head of the church, either the priest or the pastor. So the only thing I can tell you is, do not see this as a means of you leaving your church. No. Stay where you are. Increase your prayer life. Keep on being above them spiritually. For you to be seeing that in your dreams, it means you are above them spiritually. God can actually use you to bring sanity into his house. Okay, Patience. Oh yes, Patience Amaka. The answer is yes to your question. You ask, when one have a spiritual gifts without using them, can it block things for the person? Yes. Yes. To the extent that you will be frustrated in life. It's not really that the gift is actually blocking your way, no, but you are going to face a lot of challenges in your life that you cannot handle. Challenges that you cannot handle, because the only way for you to handle these challenges is by you making use of your gift. When you have spiritual gifts and you don't make use of them, there is no head forward for you in life. Quote me anywhere. There is no way head forward for you. There is nothing you will do and you will accomplish that thing. You cannot become successful in life. I am a living witness to this. I suffered. When I mean I suffered, I got frustrated. I nearly ran mad until the day I decided, until the day I said yes. And that was how that problem, and the beautiful thing is that all those problems, how they vanished or how God solved them is what I cannot tell up till now. But those problems automatically disappeared or got solved anyhow, just because I said yes, that I'm ready to make use of my gift. So yes, when you don't make use of your gift, you will have so many blockages in life. Star, you saw your son throw bean outside, which he has never done, and you are checking if he is hiding something. No. Okay, you had a dream, you saw your son throwing away a bean, that is a trash bin, outside. It actually means spiritual cleansing. It is spiritual cleansing. Your son is undergoing spiritual cleansing. Throwing away trash, your son is actually discarding of everything that will be a hindrance in his life. That is spiritual cleansing. It has nothing to do with him hiding something physically. He is undergoing a spiritual transformation, discarding of every negative thing that will be a hindrance in his life. Okay? Francisca, if your pastor is a true man of God, I will want you to open up to him and tell you what you are seeing in the dream. You cannot bottle it up if you cannot fight it alone. You can only, choose to keep quiet when you know that you can fight it alone. But if you cannot fight it alone, open up and tell him what is happening. I believe there are some good people in the church. There are some prayer warriors in the church. Your pastor cannot arrange for a prayer session. While that prayer session is going on, the problem in the church will be detected. So open up and tell your pastor what you have been seeing. Do not make the mistake of leaving your church. I've said it before and I'm repeating it again. Once you leave your church, Francisca, when you go to another church, you will still leave that church. You will keep on running from church to church. The church is not the problem. The problem is we humans. We are the problem. It is not the church. So do not leave your church. Mwikuku, You knowing that you have a gift is as simple as ABCD. You don't even need anybody to tell you that. Yes, I know a lot of people may not know that they have gifts, but they know that they are somehow behaving abnormally from every other person. When I mean abnormally, I mean a lot of things will be happening only to you and it doesn't happen to anybody. Or you are seeing something, only you, no other person is seeing it. Or whenever you make any utterance, your words always come to pass. And a lot of people might call you a witch. There are so many of us who behave in weird ways, which we Africans always tag as witches. Meanwhile, they are not witches. The issue here is taking a closer look at that person spiritually. When you look at the person spiritually, you will know what the problem is. That problem is the spiritual gift in that person. So for you to know that you are spiritually gifted, Mwikuku, you yourself, you don't really need any soothsayer to tell you that. If you have a spiritual gift, whether you have started making use of it or not, the gift will start manifesting on its own. Assuming you have the gift of healing, but you don't know. When you come across someone who is sick, you don't even need to pray for the person. Sometimes you can just hold the person by your hand. And before you know it, the person will be healed. Within 2 days, 3 days, the person is healed. If you have the gift to see, sometimes you may think you are seeing something that is happening in real life. When you talk to somebody else, they'll tell you that they are not seeing it. Then you know that you are actually seeing in the spiritual. Okay? Sometimes you actually need to pray so that God will show you exactly where He has stationed you. Okay? Thank you, Star. You are welcome. Francisca, like I told you, please do not leave your church. If there is any position you are holding in the church, do not surrender that position except the church asks you to surrender. Do not run away from where God has placed you because of your fellow human beings, except that God Himself asks you to leave that place. But if God hasn't asked you to leave the place, stay there. You're actually there for a reason. You are there to help that place to grow spiritually. All right? Mwikuku, you are really welcome here, and thank you for joining us. Yes, Francisca, you are very much free to share your spiritual things with me. Francisca, I normally come up live like Friday nights, Saturday nights, okay, and sometimes Monday nights. But for close to 2 months now, I haven't been able to come up live because of, the situation of things around me, which I told us earlier. The spiritual battle is tougher and tougher, and it requires my time. When I mean my time, I mean my whole time. Because for God to be revealing what is about to happen on a daily basis, you know what it means. You have to be spiritually alert, and it involves prayer. Okay, that is why I haven't come up live for a very long time, but I managed to come up live now because I know that I won't be in the office very early today. So I decided to come up live this morning. I don't know about night, but if I have the chance to come up live by night, I will. All right? Thank you, Star. You are welcome. Okay, so I have 5 minutes left because I'm supposed to be in the office before 9:30. Yes, I actually took permission to come late today. So I'm supposed to be there before 9:30. So I will have to end this live in 5 minutes time. If there is any other question coming up, please write down your questions. Let me take it before I leave. Okay, Francisca, you dream of seeing yourself in a Catholic church. Okay, and probably you are not a Catholic. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are being called to be a member of the Catholic. No. But if there is any of the prayers in the Catholic Church that you wish to know how to pray, there is no problem with that. You learn that prayer. Time will tell. Okay? Time will tell. So many of us, we make this mistake. I know a lot of people, especially those outside the country, a lot of people have told me to open up a ministry, this and that, but may God forbid it. May God forbid it on my side. because I know that I am not called and I am never called to open up any ministry. This is how God called me, to see problems, give me solutions, and then I solve it. To pray every now and then. That is how he called me. So for somebody to be telling me to open up a ministry, this, that, no, it's not my calling. You are actually pushing me into hell. That's what it is. Okay? So, Francisca, time will tell, all right? Time will tell. Bell, sorry, I can't see your name very well. Bell and our closets, you are sick. I'm so sorry about that. But first, see, I believe in hospital a lot. I believe in doctors. They know what they are doing. If you are sick, I always tell people, visit your hospital, okay? Pray. If you are called to open a ministry, the moment you start praying about this, God will direct you the more. The moment you start praying about this, he will direct your footsteps. He will direct you. He will show you how everything will be. If God calls someone to be his minister, apart from like Catholic Church, where the priests will pass through seminary schools, and after your seminary school, you'll be ordained a priest, and then it is the bishop that will decide where you will be posted to. For others who can open up ministries on their own, I have seen a lot of people who told me that God told them to leave the states where they are, maybe leave Imo State, go to Enugu State, that is where you open your ministry. And these people obeyed, and it actually came to pass. So if you are called to open a ministry, start prayers, table the matter before God. People are telling you to do it. First of all, you need to hear from God, not from people. Hear from him. If what people are telling you is actually what God wants you, the moment you start the prayer, God will show you everything that you need to know. All right? Okay, so my time is up. I'm so sorry. My time is up. I will have to leave us here because I need to go to work this morning. So I want to thank us so very much. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your data. Thank you for the questions you asked so far. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. I pray that I will have the time tonight so that we'll all be together again. But if I don't have that time, whenever I will come up live, I will let you know. All right? So I'm going to leave us here. Thank you so much. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.